This is home building gone wrong, and I'm going to talk about 6 complications throughout this video, which are permits, zoning, soil conditions, groundwater, inspections, and weather. Okay, starting with permits. I drew the house for the plans on AutoCAD. The biggest complication with that was I haven't done it before, so I definitely going to make a little bit of mistakes. And between revisions, it takes probably about 3 weeks once I send my plans into the city for them to get back saying you need to fix this. We probably had to make like around 6 revisions, so as you can tell, it's just a decent amount of time in between working on the plans. So that was probably the main thing for the permits besides zoning. So if you can see, here's my neighbor's house right there, and where I'm building right here. And we had to fight to build here. So initially we thought we could just build here because there used to be an old house right here. But even though that there was an old house, it doesn't let you build in the same spot. You still have to apply to build wherever you want to build. Since we're a waterfront property, there's some bylaw. I don't remember exactly, so don't come after me for just to guess what it was. From the 178 contour line, which is around that tree right there, this tree, you have to be 50 meters away from that. So that puts us halfway through that garage. Basically, they wanted us to build right against the street, and we just thought that didn't make any sense, obviously, because we want to build here in line with our neighbor there, and the neighbor across, you can't really see it, but there's another house there, and we want to build right in line between those two. And then we had to go to the council for the township, and we had to make our point why we should be allowed to build here. And that had to do with some environmental engineering, which was saying that this is not a dynamic beach, which it isn't. So we won that, and then that took us like a few months just to be allowed to build right here. And then we started building, and that's where soil conditions came in. So for soil conditions, we built a septic here, and before we started building the septic, we were required to dig 2 test holes. So I did 2 test holes over the septic, and the soil conditions were good. We built the septic pretty fast and as well, but I didn't take into consideration that this is not the same area. So those test holes don't count for the house. And then when we started excavating for the house, my plan was only to excavate around 4 foot for the footings, and then that would be deep enough for a slab on grade house, because for a frost wall. But around this area, you can see how it's a little deeper, and it gets pretty deep here. We ended up going down like 8-9 feet because the old house had a basement, and I didn't take that into consideration while designing it. So now we're significantly deeper than what we were supposed to be, and that brought us into groundwater problems. So now we're in the groundwater table slightly. The township said that I had to get my footings reassessed. Originally, I was able to design them using my ICF engineered textbook, but since this is a more of a rare condition when you're building groundwater, I had to hire a geotechnical engineer. So we got a geotechnical engineer, all taking a lot of time to approve our footing dimensions and with the structure inside of it, which wasn't a problem. It just took a lot longer, delaying us later into the year because we were trying to have the concrete done before the winter. As you can see, we didn't get the concrete done before the winter. It was just a big delay causing us to slow down. And then at the same time, you want to take in consideration inspections and expecting that some of them are not going to go well. Our septic was done really nicely, pretty fast, but before we were able to backfill and put all the sand on, we had a well. It was a dug well. We were always planning on decommissioning it, but the septic inspector wouldn't allow us to put sand on top of the septic bed until we closed in that well by using a well decommissioner. That put a setback of half a week to a week to get a well contractor to come out and fill it with clay at the bottom. I think they used hole plug, some kind of clay bentonite, and then filled it the rest up with sand. Once we were able to get that done, then we were able to put the sand on the septic. Just anticipate a lot of delays. And then lastly, the weather. So we are finally making good progress with the forms. It was basically completely formed up. I already started removing some, but all the forms are basically done. We just need to add the rebar. And then it was in November, and all of a sudden, within a weekend, 1/2 meter of snow came down. And at that point, it was unsuitable to work, just way too much snow even to like clear it out. And then we were starting to get like freezing temperatures. So we just had to accept that we're going to have to wait to next year, which is now. And then there's a crazy amount of erosion. And like all these fell down, completely went right over top of my forms. Now I'm going to have to remove all the forms and re-excavate around the edges, and then leaving rooms for some weaving tile to help the drainage. But overall, this is all my negative experiences so far, which is okay. It's a learning process. We're still going to build an amazing house. This is just the process so far. And I want to show you guys everything just in case you want to build a house yourself or just want to know how it works. This is what it looks like. So that's about it. If you want to watch taking out all the forms and digging it back up and putting in the new house, follow the channel, and we're going to have a lot of content coming soon. So I'll see you then.